Hi, my name is Richard Green, and in this very short video, I want to ask you to think about your social life. Do you have at least 10 great friends? If you don't, it's having a profound impact on your life. I want to read you a shocking but fascinating quote from the New York Times about a research study that came out pretty recently. The researchers concluded that having few friends or weak social ties to the community is just as harmful to your health as being an alcoholic or smoking nearly a pack of cigarettes a day. Weak social ties are more harmful than not exercising and twice as risky as being obese. If that's not shocking to you, I don't know what will be. And it's also important to note that a recent study from Duke University and the University of Arizona found that half of the people they surveyed for the study had less than one friend. So this is something we need to think about. You might also be thinking to yourself that you do have friends, you do know people. But there's been a lot of research that's brought to light the fact that the people we spend time with are the people we become. Anything from income to psychological health, these things rub off on us from other people. We become who we spend time with. So it's not just important that we learn to make a lot of friends, it's important that we learn to connect to the right people. Let's talk about romantic relationships. You might be thinking, I have a good romantic relationship, or I'm married, I don't really need to have a lot of friends. And this is something that I used to think was true as well. The problem is that when you don't have solid social connections outside of a romantic relationship, it starts to affect the romantic relationship in a very negative way. It's important to realize that we're attracted to people who have lots of great friends, and we want to avoid people who don't. So this might seem like a big challenge, but the good news is anyone can do this. And in a world of people that are becoming more and more socially disconnected and more socially isolated and don't know what to do about it, if you can really develop these skills and habits, you can become extremely valuable to the people around you. So there's a couple ideas I want to share with you related to this idea of becoming more social, and these really helped me change the way I think. So the first thing to think about is how you look at yourself. A lot of people self-identify as shy or as introverts or just as people who don't have a lot of friends. But this is no one's identity. These are habits that can be changed. So if you have this mindset, if you have this self-image of a disconnected person, realize that it's not true, that this is something that you can change. The second idea is to focus on the process of becoming more social. A lot of us live in the future, or we live in the past, thinking about how things could go wrong in specific social interactions, how things can be awkward. We worry about saying something stupid. But what you really want to focus on in becoming a more charismatic person, a more socially connected person, someone who has a lot of friends and is connected to a lot of people, what you want to start thinking about is the process of forming connections. Thinking about these ideas, working on this process, is part of why I came up with the 10 Friends in 60 Days program. I wanted to create a very clear, automated process so no matter where I was, what my situation was, I could meet new people and form new friendships very quickly. Whether I was traveling, moved to a new city, or if I want to make new friends for any reason, I know how to do it. I have a process. So who am I, and what led me to come up with this program? I grew up very shy, very socially isolated. I dealt with the problem of having very few friends, and the friends I did have a lot of the time were negative people who caused more problems than good in my life. I noticed my Family members were mostly shy, introverted people who weren't very socially connected. And eventually I realized that this just wasn't going to work anymore. I needed to handle this part of my life. And eventually I learned that your social life is your life. This is how human beings are wired. That's why it has such a damaging effect when we don't have a solid social life. So if you feel like you want to automate this part of your life, if you want to have something to go back to maintain a solid, healthy social life, I would really recommend checking this out. So 10 Friends in 60 Days is a 5-part audio program. And when you order it, it's an immediate download so you can get started right away. Get really conscious and focus on this. And start making more time for your social life, whatever it takes.